Well, hello, everybody. This is Larry from the Blue Collar Nation podcast. I'm here with my conventional business partner, Eric Sprague, the tech whisperer. I was going to go between unconventional and conventional. I'm going to
Well,
lean on the conventional side because
you're
generally you
you're
are,
unconventional.
yes, you come
Me,
up with some
me,
quite
me house,
unconventional
me
things.
house, you van, me family, you whatever.
Come on. Conventionalness is good most of the time, but being an entrepreneur, you have to be quite unconventional often.
Uh,
And we push each other out of our comfort zone, which is good and kind of bad too. But
I thought you
I'll
meant
give
more.
you
I thought you meant not in business, but just in life.
no, I'm definitely much more unconventional. You're no fun.
You keep telling me that.
It's all good. It's quite entertaining to tell everybody that. It gets a kick out of it. So anyway, we have an amazing show today, but we have a sponsor first, and here we go. Okay, and back to the show. We have an amazing guest today, and it's been Eric and I chit chatting back and forth in the last couple of podcasts. So this is going to be much more interesting, I expect, completely. We have Claire Fick from Company Cam. She is a partner manager, and she is so cool. We met her at a trade show, CoreLogic, and we were having so much fun talking about clients and all kinds of cool things. She said, Claire, you're so cool. You need to come on the show. You are so unconventional. We want you on. So we're very happy to have you today. It's a
I'm
pleasure to have
speechless.
you.
Thank you.
So,
That was the
so
best
Larry, is that
intro
are
I've
you
ever
are
had.
you saying we're only having unconventional guests on the show from here on out?
That would be so cool. I would just have the best time in the whole world.
It's going to
Because we've had some conventional guests and they were snoozers. Sometimes I can't
not
really say that. I probably should ask Yana to take that out of the show,
not
please.
not to me, but okay.
I will do my best to be as interesting and unconventional as possible. So let's
We're
do
not
it.
worried
We're not
at
worried.
all
Not
because
worried about
you're
that.
interesting and so is your product. So we're very excited. So Eric's going to take over and do the interviewing, and he's going to be very conventional from this point on. So get comfortable.
I will follow a structure here, Claire.
I'm ready.
Larry thinks I'm a huge stick in the mud, but I make sure things get done on time and the right way.
Somebody's got to have a process, right? We'll
That's right.
follow along.
Yeah. I feel outnumbered because I have two business development reps and then me. It's
Yes, exactly.
like herding
That's
You're
fair.
cats.
Our
conventional.
job is to kind of just go with the flow and have
That's
fun.
right.
So
Well,
you got to
speaking of
wrangle us in sometimes.
yes, speaking of that, Claire, before we get into Company Cam and all the cool things that it can do, let's hear a little bit about you and your background, kind of where you grew up and what you like to do so that listeners can feel like they know you a little better.
Yeah, totally. Well, first off, so happy to be on this show. I love doing podcast interviews and I always learn something new by the end of it. So, super happy to be here. Yes, my name's Claire. I'm born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. Good Midwest gal. And loved my time in Lincoln, went all through college in Nebraska.
So
Graduated
are you
with
a Cornhusker? Did you go to the University of Nebraska?
I did. Yes, I'm a Cornhusker, in fact.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Go Big Red. Go Big Red. But yes, so I kind of got my start in videography. I loved videography, which kind of connects back to what I do now at Company Cam, which is funny. But yeah, loved videography, was shooting videos, was making a lot of marketing content. That's kind of where I got my start. And then once I graduated, actually, Company Cam came into my view. And at the time, I was planning on moving away to Colorado. And I sat down with a guy from Company Cam. This is when Company Cam was super small. This was back in 2018. And there were maybe 25 people. And they said, hey, we want you to try this out. And I said, I will never do sales. Sales is the worst. I hate selling to people. And they got me in, and honestly, it was the best decision I made. I ended up staying in Lincoln for a year, and then I was their first remote employee. So I moved out to California. That's where I currently reside. Um, and I left Company Cam for a while. actually. I left for 2 years. I got my feet wet in lots of other things. I was able to really grow my sales experience and enjoy California.
So you were
I'm
being unconventional.
I was being unconventional, if you will.
Okay.
I didn't go full on California dirtbag van life. I didn't do that.
Oh, well,
But
that's what Larry does.
Yeah, I'm a dirtbag van life guy down by the river.
I will be honest. I don't know if I'm deviating from anything your listeners care about, but I'm
No.
Our
huge into van
listeners listen
builds.
to us, whatever we talk about.
Oh, that's so cool. You're into the van builds. Wonderful.
That is all that I watch on YouTube when I get a free moment. I absolutely love it. I'm a big backpacker. I'm a big hiker. I spent 4 summers working in the mountains in New Mexico, in northern New Mexico. So I love everything about that. That's a big reason why I got pulled to California, so that I could enjoy all that it had to offer recreationally, if you will. So I actually do love vans and van builds. I would love to, honestly, with all the contractors I work with, that's what I should do. I should hire all of you guys to come make a sick van for me.
Oh, you should see
That'd be
Larry's
great.
van build. It's unbelievable.
Oh, let me tell you, we
Really?
work so hard on that. It is so dialed. Stand back.
Do you have,
It's
do you
quite
have,
unconventional.
do you have like
and
solar
ghetto.
panels? What do you have?
He's gonna,
Actually, Eric and I put it together on a weekend. It needs a lot of work, and I haven't stopped long enough to get everything done properly. But
All right,
I
yeah,
I'll
watched
be
the
watching
shows
these
as
Larry
videos.
has an uninsulated ProMaster that could really use some love for anybody
Yeah.
listening.
it's quite functional in an unconventional way. But I
Maybe
love
you guys
watching the shows. Aren't they fun?
It's got about
They're
8
so
man hours
fun.
into it of work.
You guys should do a show on van builds and see if you get any traction on
Not this van build.
it. Fair.
No, this is nothing to brag about at all. It's nothing
Wow,
I say to the clients when I visit. Yeah.
I did not know this is where the conversation was going to
Yeah, I
go,
would
but I
always
like
be
you
like,
guys
Larry,
even
whatever you
more
do,
now.
don't show them the inside of the Super Tech van.
I get teased because there's not a lot of windows in it. You got a van, dude driving around the windowless van, and everybody laughs and points at me. But it's got our pictures on the outside and stuff. You know, they do, our pictures are on the back side of it, and people take magic markers and they draw mustaches on there, and I got to go clean them off.
Yeah,
It's kind of
not the only
challenging.
thing they draw on there.
I was going to say, that seems pretty tame.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
All right.
Well,
All right.
I hope that I can get to the
So
point where I have
anyway,
my
the
own
van is fun because our picture's on the back, and I'll be driving down the freeway, and somebody will call me, like I'm in Arkansas. Hey, Larry, you just drove past me in your van. And they see Eric and I in the back, and it's quite cool. It's happened often enough. That's a big deal. I get excited about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go traveling through Santa Barbara, and then maybe you could see the van passing, and then you could laugh and then draw something on the back of it and take your turn.
See, we like to go,
Perfect.
Larry and I like to road cycle. We like to go to Santa Barbara and climb Gibraltar Road, which is always a good time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We only talked a little bit prior to recording, but you guys did not tell me any of that. So that's awesome.
We know Santa Barbara. Larry's daughter
Well,
went
my
to
daughter went to.
UCSB.
Oh,
So I used to
it's
go
all
up there a whole
coming
lot.
together.
Yeah.
So you
in
guys
Isla
know
Vista.
how beautiful and awesome it is, and how like difficult it is to think about leaving. So again, like, thank goodness my jobs have allowed me to be remote, but
I
it's
think Santa Barbara is the nicest town in California, honestly.
It's pretty darn special,
Maybe,
I will say.
Maybe nicest town in the country.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't say that. Then we're
pretty-
going to get rid with even more tourists.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's not
She
bad.
doesn't want anybody coming there. Get out of here. Stop. Don't tell anybody.
You know, the government and the taxes and all that's kind of bullshit. So we'll move on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at this point, I thought I was doing well for myself, and rent is expensive. My rent is probably double my family members' mortgages in Nebraska, if you can believe it.
Yeah,
for like a 1-bedroom. But again,
yeah, but it's sunny
it's
350 days a year.
Exactly. You balance it. It's all a balance. So
it's a weather tax.
yeah.
All right, well, let's get into company cam.
Yeah. Like that's how I would wrap it up though, is I got lucky that Company Cam allowed me to be their first remote employee. I left them. I betrayed them for 2 years. And then I came back in 20 or early 2021. And I bounced around in the company in different roles. So I did like an inside sales role, and then I did customer success, and now I'm in this role. And I travel a ton. I get to go meet our customers. I get to manage our partners, obviously, get to do fun interviews and webinars like this. So honestly, I think I've like kind of found where I fit. But as you know, Larry, within business development, there's just the sky's the limit. You can just try as many things as you want just to see what sticks. So I feel like I'm always having a lot of fun, I will say.
Yeah. And there's always opportunity. You can meet some
Spoken
really
like a
cool people.
few- Spoken like a true business development rep.
Yep.
I do my
There's always more people to meet, more trade shows to go to, more
And the
people to
rest
meet,
of
more
us-
bigwigs.
The rest of us in operations are having a hissy fit every day and a heart attack.
Even the way you're sitting right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
you and your
It's just his
fun.
posture. It's quite
Then we have-
it's
Then we have
conventional
all
is
the
what it
stress of
is.
delivering on that, you know. All right. Well, let's talk
Hey.
Company Cam. For the people, I've used Company Cam, so I think I can speak to it to a degree. Why don't you explain to everybody what Company Cam is and like who uses it?
Sure. Yeah, of course. So that's the beauty of Company Cam. Really, anyone within the trades, any trade can use it. We work, I mean, honestly, there's some tattoo artists that use Company Cam. So really, the sky's the limit. But at our core, Company Cam is we call visual first, but really what that means is we are a visual first, photo video software built for contractors and the various contacts that they work with throughout a job, right? Whether that's a 1 hour job and you're just going to go fix a sink, or if you're doing a full remodel, right? And so with the visual first aspect, I'll just break it down to make it very clear. We're a mobile app. You download the mobile app, just like you would normally snap photos on your camera roll. Instead of doing that and clogging up your camera roll, you snap all of your photos through Company Cam app. It's very easy to use, just like your camera app. But the beauty is that we help you capture, but then the next step is that we organize everything by location, date, time, and who took it. And the way that we can do that and make it secure is because we're cloud-based. So all those photos you capture automatically organized for you. They're uploaded to the cloud securely, and then your team has access to them. And then you can log into Company Cam online, or if you have a tablet. And so kind of the whole idea is to, of course, be able to capture and then have all of that organized for you. So the moment that you need to grab those photos, share them, put them in, for insurance, for an estimate, things like that, they're there for you. You don't have to go scrolling through camera rolls, trying to text people, wrangle people to get that information that you need. The hope is for everybody to be on the same page. So that's the quick and dirty of it. There's a lot of other things that we do, but we got our start about 8 years ago. We started by a roofing company. And then naturally that fed into restoration because the process was similar, especially around insurance and things like that. And a lot of Company Cam's core features are built around that process from a roofing standpoint. And now in 2023, we work with over 25,000 individual contracting companies across all different trades. Probably our top trades are roofing, restoration, construction, and then like the service, like mechanical trades, HVAC, plumbing, electric, painting, landscaping. Yeah, anybody, I mean, pictures are so important. You know what I mean? More and more every day, whether that's covering your own butt, right? Or if that's just being able to communicate and be more transparent with your customer, or getting paid faster, right? Like getting things approved. So that's kind of where we play in the space.
Yeah, I know when I was using it, and I was using it in a restoration context, for me, the value is obviously in I can have all my pictures in one place for every job, no matter who went, right? So that's huge. I mean, Larry and I could use that right now just for trade shows instead of us scrolling through our phones trying to, where was that picture from this show we did last year? Company Cam, you could just be like, boom, this is the show. Here's all the pictures Larry took. Here's all the pictures I took. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of uses, but the thing that was the best for me as was in like a project manager role was I could go look at a job. And as you know, in restoration, we're going to be doing demo. We're going to have to cut certain things out that are wet. So I could draw on the pictures, like cut here at 2 feet, don't cut here. I could draw an X. Like I could actually give instructions on every photo so that my team's chance of doing it incorrectly was way less, way down. So it really helped for a management tool for communication, because they still might call me and say, I'm looking at the picture. I see where you drew the error. Like, you want me to do this, right? But not this. Yes, exactly. Like, it just gave a lot of tools that I could use that to me, it just mitigated a lot of mistakes. That's how I
Yeah.
like to use it the best.
Yep. Especially within restoration. That's what so many people say, is again, to be able to like get people prepared before they've even stepped on the job site. Right. And also, since it's a live feed, there's so much to be said for what does it mean for you to be on the job site when you're not physically there. Like, to be able to see what's going on, to be able to see who's there, to be able to see like literally time and date stamps on photos taken, the befores, the afters, and you didn't even have to step on the job site, is a really big win in the end when it comes to time management, and being able to catch issues on the fly, right? Rather than figuring it out and then having to go back the next day and fix something. So, yeah.
Claire, can I interject real quick? So let's talk features, because I was using it in like at your infancy, like 2018 and 19, right? So obviously, like, we didn't even have live feed then. So maybe you could go through and kind of tell, like, I kind of jumped the gun, like, hey, I can draw on it and I can write on it and I can give measurements, right? Maybe let's go back and tell everybody what the features are, what you can do with it.
Sure. Yeah. So that I don't repeat myself too much, but I do think it's important to reiterate. Our main pieces is first to help you capture, right? So it's a mobile app that opens up a camera and you snap all of your photos. Boom, 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 boom. You don't have to stop and wait for a photo to upload and then snap another photo upload. Nope, it's first capture just like you normally would on your camera. So again, just making things easy for your team to use. The next piece is the automatic organization. So now, instead of photos getting stuck on someone's camera roll, right, and then having to go in after the fact or at the end of the day, back to the office, get them organized into the right project folder, and hopefully you remember which photos went to which day you were at the job site, right? Now we do it, it's all instantaneous for you. So that's the other core feature, is the automatic organization by location, by date, by time, and who took it. And then the last piece is the instant sync. So because it's cloud-based, again, this is why so many people love us and use us. It gets all the work photos off of your phone, but then it's automatically uploaded. So now in live time, you can see what's going on across all the job sites that you're working at. Instead of having to, we've all been there, where we're trying to text or we're trying to attach photos to an email, and you times that by how many jobs you're doing and how long you work on those jobs, how many days, and you just realize how much time you're wasting when you could pull up a mobile app. I have a lot of customers that do this when I'm at trade shows. They'll open up their company cam account and they're like, look, I can see the 5 roofs that my team's working on right now, and I don't feel scared to go to this trade show for 2 days.
Sure.
4 years ago, before I found company cam, that was a totally different story. So that's like the core of what we do. And then I can go even deeper into features like drawing, like annotating notes, but that's our core.
So then will Company Cam, work with CRMs like Service Titan and House Call Pro and Dash and all of those good things, so that we can then take what we have on Company Cam and move it into, let's use Service Titan as an example. How does that work?
Great question. So again, that's our ethos as Company Cam. We're not trying to be a one-stop shop for everything. We know that we're really, really good at photo capture, really good at organization. So we do that really well. And then the next level is, how do we use that to get all that data where you want it to go, right? It's not just going to live in Company Cam. So integrations have been a huge part of our business. We integrate with, now I believe we're 45 to 50 plus custom integrations. And then on top of that, we have an open API. So we do have custom integrations with custom companies as well. If they want to build into us, we want that to be open to them. And then the last piece is we came out with a extension. So, like extensions on Chrome extensions. So now if we don't directly integrate, you can utilize Zapier, which a lot of people do, or you can utilize the Company Cam Chrome extension, where you're able to open up Company Cam in any area on a web page that says attach a photo, and then the Company Cam widget will pull up. So we're always trying to think about different ways that we can streamline a process for any type of contractor. Last thing I'll say is, yes, if I could name off all 50 if you want me to, but if you just go to companycam.com/integrations, you can go in and see every single custom integration that we have. But yeah, some to call out that people love in this space is Jobber, House Call Pro, Successware, Procore, Salesforce, Zoho. There's a HubSpot. There's a lot of them. If we don't directly integrate, that's where a lot of people will use Zapier, or they'll use our extension.
And then, we mentioned roofing and restoration. Can you maybe compare and contrast how different trades use Company Cam, if they use them differently at all? Is everybody using it exactly the same way? I can't imagine that to be true.
Well, I will say that if I could try to figure out some tips and tricks for each trade, I would. But in the end, they truly are using it super similarly.
Yeah.
And the main connecting component of how they're using it is just enhanced communication. So that means being able to prep their team, or whether that's a tech or your restoration team going out, and you've already done the estimate and you know what you need to do, like just for them to be able to see those photos and see the drawings and you pointing out or adding notes, for them to be able to understand what they're getting themselves into it just makes work go so much faster, as you already said, right? And it mitigates risk for things to be done incorrectly in the first place. So I see that across trades. When it comes to like restoration specifically, before and afters are incredibly important. And then the ability to tag your photos. So the ability to basically make subfolders within project folders. That's how I explain tags. So say that you want to tag every single photo of the water damage in a project, right? You can create your water damage tag. You snap all of your photos. It attaches that tag to all those photos. And then you can go in and simply filter by water damage tag. And then you can export all those photos and drop it into whatever you're using, Mika, Xactimate. You can drop them in automatically, and you don't have to scroll. You don't have to find. You don't have to search for. So that's what I'm seeing a lot.
Yeah, and just to kind of, for the listener that's never used it or seen it, one of the things that we would do is, it's common in restoration for an estimator, first responder, project manager to go look at that job, sell the job, take the photos, take the initial readings, and then come up with a game plan that, a lot of times later in the day, or a lot of times the next day, the team's going to go do the work. One of the things that we did is, in the morning huddle, we would pull each job up in Company Cam up on a big screen. And I would stand there and say, like walk them through the house and through the pictures and show them the readings and cut this and don't cut that and move, don't move this piece of furniture because it can't be moved. I can't stress enough how much most technicians felt like they felt better about going to that job, having seen it before they ever drove up, because now, look, most technicians want to do a great job. Like that's a great myth in the trades. Like, oh, they don't care. Yeah, they care, right? But now we're giving them the tools, like they're in their head while they're driving over. They're like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do that. This is how I'm going to set this up. They're technical people. So if we can give them more technical information, they feel better about doing the work.
See the pictures, it makes them more comfortable. Yeah, go ahead.
and again, you are not the first person. If not every customer says something to that effect, that it's allowing their employees to feel more confident and do their job better and have less return trips. That's the goal, right? And where my brain always goes, because again, I've never worked directly in the trade, so maybe I'm naive to ask this, but I'm just wondering, what did you do before that? Like, did
Oh,
you just tell them?
well, no,
Like,
you're
did
on a
you?
whiteboard and you're trying to
Yeah,
draw it
like,
out
You're
and you're
drawing
not
a
even,
picture, is
yeah, and
it's
you're not a good
high
artist.
graphics, and you're going all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
mess.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's harder to it's harder to grow that business because the project managers and the owners are having to be on site way more. So it slows your growth because you're having to actually physically manage jobs more back then than now with technology. You can do that. And, because as we grew and as technology got better, I could sit at my desk and run like air traffic control over way more jobs than I ever could. Would I have to drive to each one and check on everybody? I'm not saying you never drive to jobs and check on them, but I mean, not all jobs are created equal, right, Claire? Like we've got $100,000 dryouts and we've got $3,000 dryouts. My goal is to never step foot on a $3,000 dryout because it's just not, there's not enough scale to that to take a project manager's time, usually. But I may have to spend more time on the $100,000 loss physically. But even from there with Company Cam or something similar, I can run the other jobs even while I'm at the other job. I mean, that gives you freedom to that actually creates some scale to your job itself. You can run more
exactly.
crews, run more jobs with, less effort by a manager.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we, again, see time and time again. And we continue to use like in our marketing or whatever, is just the amount of time that you save and the amount of money, like the amount of money people have come to us and said, like, this pays for itself within the first month that we're using it. And not only for the time saved, right? And the amount of jobs that you can bring in with that time saved, but also liability. Like we've had some crazy stories of hundred thousands of dollars being saved just because they had a photo that they could prove, like, oh no, we at this date and time we were there and that it was already there. You know what I mean? That was the first photo we ever took. And so it's just all around, there's so many areas to be able to scale, to be able to save, but also to be able to protect your company. It's a real thing, whether or not somebody's being malicious, but it happens, you know.
It
It's just
also is very,
communication. You have tons of communication there just with the pictures. I mean, like what Eric was saying with the walls, but the pictures showing what was this way and what was that way in an organized fashion to be able to access quickly and understand is dramatic. It's super cool.
well, and if you look at it going back the other way, we've been talking all operations, but there's way more parts to a business than that. So if Larry and his team of business development reps are going out and knocking on doors and meeting people, Larry could walk into an insurance agency that's been giving us work for all these years and, like, hey, just wanted to thank you for the Jones job. Hey, let me pull up my company cam real quick and give you a quick update. Let me show you some pictures of what's going on. And then, they see that it's neat and tidy and there's nice containment and good flood cuts. Makes Larry look good. Makes our company look good. And we're just going to get more, opposed to Larry going, hold on, let me try to like find the photos in my phone. I mean, oh, there's my kid,
Yeah.
there's my dog,
I
and
know.
Skip
Yeah.
by that
I
one. Oh, okay, we go by this one. It's okay.
yeah.
I will say that one of when you're talking features, one of our most beloved feature is our gallery link. So you can go in, select the specific photos you want to share, or you can just do all photos from a project, and it wraps all of those photos into a link, and you can share that with anybody, whether that's your client or again the insurance agency you're working with, your adjusters, and
Yeah,
you can
it's
share that
perfect.
with them,
We're
and it
property
gives them.
managers and
Yep.
property managers
Yeah.
want to share specific the stage of the job. so people know where the job is, and it's an easy to update people if you send them a bunch of pictures. Oh, thank you so much. I can look at them. And if they can look at them easily, that's a lot of value that you're going to deliver to somebody that either is referring you to the job or is in charge of the job, and they're going to be calling you back because you can communicate so well with this tool, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that you can pick and choose which photos you're going to send. Like you don't want to, you're snapping a photo in the middle of a job and your technician's flipping you the bird or something. You don't have to send that one too.
It's true. It's true. You never know what's going to be captured, so you
Or
have control over
it was
that.
just
Yeah,
being
that's
funny
never
there,
happens.
but no, it never happens. But that there are photos that even though because you're in process, it might not look great yet because there's wet drywall on the floor that we haven't cleaned up yet or whatever. But you're taking like progress photos. You can pull those out and just show the finished product, the beginning product and the finished product, so that they're like, oh, okay. Because if they see the other photos, they're like, oh, well, that doesn't look good. So you can curate your photos.
Yep.
Oh,
It's all
good
about
word.
story. It's all about telling a story. Like from literally the very beginning of like drawing and adding notes and annotations to your initial photos that you take, to sharing that with your team, to then your team snapping photos, progress photos, being able to call things out, to the end and being able to share the befores, the afters, and job well done. Here's your next job. You know what I mean? Like it's all a full story, and the ability to be able to share that with photos, notes, drawings, like it's just a win,
Any new technology coming out that you can share with us?
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff already kind of has come out in the last year, and we're just really doubling down on making those things great. So kind of we're like I said, we're not a project management tool technically, but what we're trying to do is deliver more value to our project folders. So our project folders at in general, right? It's going to share the location, the date that project was created, and the name of that project, and then all the photos and videos organized by time and date under that in that project. Well, now we're offering the ability for you to be able to create templated projects. So especially for if you do certain types of repairs or certain types of damages and work, right? There's going to be probably a lot of people say, well, we want these 20 photos for every estimate, or we want these 20 photos every single day before you, right when you jump on the job site and right when you leave the job site. And there's all these things, our customers are coming to us and they're saying, we want to get even more granular because this has given us so much structure now, but now we want to give even more structure to empower our employees, as you kind of were talking about, Eric. So we released our project checklists about a year and a half ago, and those people have loved those, and now we're just iterating on them and making them better. So now you can create a checklist of what needs to be done on that job, whether that's like a daily checklist or that's just the core checklist for the job. And it will have tasks, and that every task will normally require a photo. So then they can go in, snap their photo, it attaches to that task, they can check it off.
Yep, it's huge.
Well, now we have the ability where not only is it like photo tasks, but you can do a rating scale. You can also do a yes or no questionnaire. You can do a multiple choice questionnaire, and you can choose different options that they can choose from. So we're trying to find ways that, again, we can just bring more structure to your data capture where it's almost a no-brainer for your team. So
no, that's great. That's super valuable too, because I'm always looking at it from a management perspective to be able to create a checklist of tasks that need to get done and then actually have the accountability portion where it's like, okay, I did that. Here's the proof. If you wanted me to do other stuff and you didn't put it in the checklist, now it's not my fault. That's your fault, right? And that's good as a manager because so many times we think we tell people what we really want done and we don't. And they're supposed
It's
to
accountability for the manager as well as the
supposed
technician.
Like the technician's job is not to read my mind. Like it's my responsibility to get them a series of tasks to accomplish the mission, so that tool is very valuable. So if somebody wants a demo, Claire, or wants to learn more, how do they find out?
Yeah, for sure. So the beauty of Company Cam is we let everybody test it for free. You could literally go to the App Store right now on Android or on iPhone and download it. Everybody gets at least 2 weeks for free. And then we'll come in and train you. We'll jump on a Zoom just like we're on right now, and we'll show you everything. We'll mirror our screen, show you the app and the desktop, and help you onboard your team, and then you guys can test it. And you literally don't add a credit card. That's my favorite part about our company. You know how many apps we've all downloaded and they're like, in order to start anything, you must add a credit card.
I'm out
It's
right
so
there.
frustrating.
Because
Me too.
I'm not committed yet enough to that company to want to do that.
Me too. And it normally I turn away very quickly. So I'm really thankful that we've held to that we don't do that. Yeah, so it's kind of a no risk. So if you want to, you can go to companycam.com/Claire. And that will give you a little discount in your first 2 months if you decide to sign up with us. So,
Oh, look at that.
but
Blue Collar
yeah,
Nation discount. We'll
let's
take
go.
credit.
Stand back.
Yeah, /Claire, go for it. That'll be mine. And yeah, again, but that's what I always call out is like it normally comes to pass that we are a pretty good fit for most people because we're really easy to use, we're really easy to implement, and it makes sense. But you never want to sign a contract, you never want to go with something that you can't test out first. And that's the other beauty of it is we don't have contracts. We're not that kind of company unless you're a really, really big company and you decide that you want your whole hundred thousands of people to use it, right? Then we'll help you out. But it's kind of a no risk. Go try it. Why not?
All right. I'm going to ask the question that every contractor in the back of their mind, though, is thinking right now. What happens if I leave? What happens to all my pictures?
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah.
honestly, I would think that you would be silly if you didn't ask that. You wouldn't be a good business person if you didn't. Yep. All those photos are yours. You own them. We do not keep them from you. So what most people do, it's like they close their business or they do decide to leave Company Cam for any reason. They can just go in and they download their projects. So you can download projects individually and download all the files, saves to wherever you want that to save, just like you normally would if you download from a Dropbox or a Google Drive. And they're yours. We don't keep them from you.
Yeah. I already knew the answer, but I wanted to make sure everybody knew that. Well, no, because that's what would keep most people from buying.
Yeah, totally.
I don't want to lose everything that if for some reason I need to leave or whatever, I need those pictures, right? So
you guys are priced reasonably that shouldn't be a gigantic concern because you have things so well organized. I mean, you can go and reference things from years ago that is easy just to put your finger on it. If you decide, you're going to tighten up your belt and then download all the pictures into one block inside a Dropbox. Okay, well, we got to find something. Oh, okay. And it'll take you hours to look for it. That hours would be worth staying with the company that's priced reasonably, that would have all the resources available. And the cheapness would cost you all that extra money.
Speaking of that, Claire, can you give the pricing structure to everybody so they know what it is?
Sure. Yeah. We don't hide anything. Again, another beauty of the company that I love. Also, Larry, I think you could just sell Company Cam for me. So you took my job. Good job.
Business Development 101 goes a long way with different companies.
Larry just made himself an affiliate.
Exactly.
We love it.
Well, no, I was the guy that would be cheap and would waste time. And Eric would be like, what are you doing? We don't want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
What's our time worth, dude?
So I learned that the hard way, totally the hard way.
We all have to. But yes, but for pricing, again, we don't hide anything. And if I tried to say it all right here, you would just forget it. So I urge everybody to go to companycam.com/pricing. And it's all there. We have 2 different tiers that you can choose from, and you can choose to pay monthly or you can choose to pay annually. The beauty is that if you pay annually, you get a little bit of a discount. But the last thing I'll say is every single thing that we offer is unlimited data. We don't charge via per gig or per amount of data set that you get. Everything's always unlimited, and that's the way that it will stay. So companycam.com/pricing, and you'll see that.
Boom. Check it out.
Well, thank you for a nice almost hour, I guess, of conversation. It was nice to have you on the show.
Claire, you're quite conventional. It was wonderful.
Oh man, it sounds like I need to go buy a van and live in it for a while.
Down by the river.
Down by the river, yeah. No, this has
Actually,
been
every
great.
time Larry tells somebody he's doing van life, they're like, "Oh, you're living in a van down by the river." Larry's like, "If I ever hear that one more time, I'm gonna snap." You know?
Hey, they don't know. They don't know what they're missing. Go watch van life YouTube videos. It'll convert you. It'll convert most
Yeah.
people. So
It'll suck you in. Yeah,
I'm very
absolutely.
conventional. It will not convert me.
He's very clear. I will not be in that van overnight.
Yeah,
Period.
Larry, when he came, he's like, "Oh, we can go to trade shows and we can do this and we can do that." And I just said, "I just want to be really clear up front. I will never sleep. I will never sleep in this van one night. Just so we're all on the same page."
Larry, you pitched to do trade shows and stay in your van?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you
When
hear
I
the
pulled up to
frugal?
trade
Didn't you hear
shows.
the frugal part?
Oh yeah.
I
There's
have
definitely
so much respect for this because I wouldn't even do that because I like need a bed and a place to like shut a door and be comfortable after a trade
There's
show.
a bed
So
and there's a door to shut. It's real easy. When I pull that and I park in front of the trade show, like when you were at CoreLogic, there was a parking lot directly across the street. You know how many people said, "Hey, I saw your van outside. Hey, I saw your van outside." I mean, it
Yeah,
won't
but did
work in
they
a
say
Vegas
that at 2
show.
a.m. when you were sleeping in the parking lot?
Well, no, I didn't sleep in the parking lot then. I was still living in LA.
All right, Claire, let's
No, I don't leave it overnight. Come on.
hold
He's
on.
crazy,
Hold
man.
on. I'm gonna you were throwing me under the bus. You told me yesterday I could throw you under the bus. So Larry, look, Larry's frugal, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But instead of even taking the van and going to like the camping site where he can hook up, he drives to other tradespeople's parking lots that has full Sprinter vans and just like pulls in next to him and sleeps. Because Larry gets up at like 4 a.m. So he's out of there
Yeah.
before they ever. I'm just like, dude, you're gonna
Hey.
get murdered.
I'm all for the strategy. Sounds like you have it down. So
Oh, Larry's
why
gonna-
not?
I have
You
seen
gotta
so
be
many
frugal
beautiful
when you're in
stars in
California.
yeah, there's beautiful places all over California, and you can just pull on in and get comfortable. I mean, I'm not opposed to paying for a campsite, but they're not conveniently located all the time. So, you got to be creative. Unconventional.
Guys,
Sorry.
This has been one of the best podcast interviews I've done. It's been very fun. I love this. I'd love to come back sometime. So we can talk more about van life.
Right. Claire, once you get your van, then come on and we'll compare and contrast your van and Larry's van. That sounds like a great episode. We'll have to do that on YouTube.
They can sponsor you if you get it wrapped.
Gotta get a van.
You need a company cam wrap on your van.
Yeah, there you go. Get your picture on the back of it, and everybody be like, "Cool, look at you're gonna be great." You can get Nicole and yourself. Yeah, you guys won't look good mustaches. You got to make sure it's a dry erase marker though that they have.
Larry's smart. He started putting the dry erase markers out on the bumper so that they wouldn't use Sharpies. Like, here, please draw whatever your bad thing you're going to draw. And this makes it easier for me to erase it after you leave.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. Truly. I'm so glad to know you both. This is hilarious. I love this. Larry, great job.
Well, next time I go through Santa Barbara, I'll give you a call.
Please do.
Yeah, we'll take a ride up Gibraltar, and that'll be wonderful.
I've never biked up Gibraltar, so I've only driven it. So
it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not. It's not.
It's one of the hardest climbs around.
Yeah,
for sure.
Crazy.
It's a good ride.
Claire, thank you. Appreciate you coming on the show. It was a good time.
Yeah, thanks so
pleasure
much.
Pleasure, Claire. Hey, and you have a great day. We'll see you.